Hello, everyone. Before we get started today, we're going to do a quick little exercise here. We've been doing this podcast for quite a while, but I feel like you guys don't know who Ryan truly is. So we're going to do a little exercise here. Are you ready, Ryan?
Wait, I'm not Stan?
Either way,
I'm not
doesn't
Stan?
even matter. You are. You're always Stan. What we're gonna do is I got some of these quick little conversation, like personality question type things, and they're just quick questions you can answer, just like fire it off, and we'll see how you feel about these things, and we'll get a better understanding of you as a person.
All right. This sounds terrifying.
No, it's not. It's not so bad. They're just easy, simple. All right, so okay, Ryan, cats or dogs?
Yes. Dogs.
What's your favorite color?
Purple.
PSP or Vita?
Vita.
Do animals experience emotions?
Yes.
Are emotions necessary
Yes.
for human survival?
Probably.
Do people have a right to be happy, or do they have to earn it?
Earn it.
Is what we perceive reality or just a construct of our minds? Or can our minds correctly interpret reality, or is it really subjective?
Oh my god. Nah, your brain doesn't know shit.
If you had to sum up the whole human species in 3 words, what would those words be?
Pile of garbage.
Good. Nailed it. What is the purpose of human life?
To fucking, I don't know, have a good time.
Are some lives more valuable than others?
Probably.
Man, there's just so many choices here. Just quick, easy personality questions that those ones that section got weird.
Yeah, what was that about?
No, I didn't even read you the weird ones. Like,
Oh, you didn't? Oh, shit.
how would you like to die? Or what did
God.
who do you know is living life to the fullest? Or if you died today, what regrets would you have about your life? Don't answer those. It's weird. They're weird.
I won't. Yeah.
Should governments make laws to protect people from hurting themselves?
No.
How important are morals in a healthy society? What are the most important morals for citizens to have?
Don't be a dick. And, yeah,
What is a
morals are
miracle
okay.
that happens every day?
The
What, Fester?
the inevitable delayal of
I was
the
going
heat
to
death
say,
of the
I was
universe.
like, we better talk about heat death. What is the purpose of art in society?
To make you feel stuff.
Okay, that's actually not a bad answer. How important is freedom of the press to a healthy society?
Incredibly important.
Can people with vastly different cultural backgrounds live together peacefully? The answer to that question is apparently not. By the way,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, apparently.
yeah, I
not.
would. I would have said yes, but I've been proven wrong on that front.
Like last year, I would have said yes.
And you're like, oh, I guess we're
I
not.
don't know.
We're not doing that. All right.
We're not doing
okay.
that anymore. So.
All right.
yeah,
That's
bummer.
So now I think that people have a better understanding of who you are as a person, and I think that's good. That's good for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you want to podcast now?
Yeah. Let's. This is the Bear versus Mancast. Hello.
Hey. My name is Nick.
I'm.
Yeah, I know.
I'm Ryan.
I know.
We discussed.
I know. But we just do that anyways. And this is a podcast
Yeah.
about video games. We're gonna kick it off. We're gonna tell you about some stuff that we played this week that we consider to be not worthless, or actually
not worthless.
We sometimes do talk about worthless games, but
yes.
And then we're gonna drop some headlines on you from what happened in the world of video games this week, and just kind of just bullshit for a little bit.
News.
Yeah, I guess we can call it that.
That's what it says in the document. It says news.
So Ryan's gonna start us off with a recap of his Thanksgiving, because it's been a week.
Did we? Oh,
Thanksgiving
that's right.
was 1 week ago.
We recorded on Thanksgiving morning. That's correct.
Before Thanksgiving had happened, and you didn't sous vide it. I know you told me that.
I didn't sous vide it. I don't think sous vide is a word.
It is on this podcast.
I did not cook my turkey breast sous vide.
I've been really thinking about getting into sous vide.
I have many resources for you should you would like to.
Hey, but I have to buy a sous vide machine. An immersion circulator.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you all about it.
Yeah, but I don't want to buy one. Plus, then I'll be like, I'm going to cook this chicken, and then I'll have to, actually set it to 140 degrees, and then...
Yeah, but that's okay because you end up cooking it again. You give it a pan sear.
Yeah, but not on the inside.
Yeah, but the hot on the outside gets to the inside.
Yeah, but
that's how science works.
If you cook it for long enough, yeah. That's cooking in a nutshell, but
it'll be enough. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. I don't know. Sous vide sounds hard.
It's really easy. It's probably one of the easiest ways to cook meat in the history of meat.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yep. It's literally it's actually foolproof.
That's not true at all. What
no,
if I didn't? What if I'm such a fool that I didn't properly seal the bag?
Well, then you just end up with poached, which it's happened to me before, and it ends up okay.
Well, what if all my fresh herbs and stuff I sealed inside the bag are now floating in my sous vide water?
Well, realistically, you would see that, so you'd probably be like, "Well, I better redo this."
It sounds like a lot of work.
It's not.
So you didn't sous vide it. You put that turkey in the oven.
I did. We had 2 turkeys, and on Monday,
Why?
the Monday before, I quartered them.
Why isn't one turkey good enough for you?
Because we like to eat turkey for a long time, so we make 2 smaller turkeys.
How small are we talking? 10 pounds?
14. 2
That's
14s.
not really that small. I guess as far as turkeys go.
Okay, so the year before we got a 26-pound.
But that's just fucking foolish. But okay.
No, it was
quartered
great.
The turkeys.
Yes. So I had 8 pieces of turkey with which to cook.
Okay, and you roasted them all kind of separately?
I started the white meats an hour and a half before the dark meats.
Okay.
And because the dark meats are really thin relatively to the breast, so they take way less time to cook. So yeah, I roasted turkey breasts, and then an hour and a half later I'm like, okay, 25 minutes for dark meat, ready to go. Yeah, but it came out really good. And Mom made stuffing and some vegetables, and made mashed potatoes.
Cool.
It's very, very standard Thanksgiving fare.
Why you fuck with it, right?
We did have Brussels sprouts that were sautéed with chorizo and almonds, which was pretty delicious.
So good.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. And then we ended up making like something that was Szechuan green bean-esque because we were like, we want something spicier than chorizo. And we're like, okay. All right. So we like got some of that. What's the sauce that isn't sriracha but it still has the rooster on it?
Well, there's two.
Chili sauce?
There's a chili garlic sauce, and there's also a sambal chili that doesn't have the garlic.
It might have been sambal.
It's the one that's like
sambal.
Sambal's a little bit darker. It's a little bit more oily, but it just has all the seeds in it.
I think it was sambal.
Good. It's not super spicy though.
Yeah,
it's like maybe
really good.
The least spicy.
No,
of
it's
all
not.
Of them for some reason, even though it's got all the seeds in it.
Yeah, but that sambal stuff is really good, and then there was like shiitake mushrooms in there, and fucking, it was really good. I like to change up my vegetables to make my turkey more interesting, as like a counterpart.
Yeah, because you can't really mess with the turkey too much.
No, I like a very normal turkey, very traditional.
Yeah, I had a pretty traditional Thanksgiving myself. Both of them were fairly traditional.
Yeah, you had 2 Thanksgivings.
Yeah. First one, I was displeased to find that the mashed potatoes had been prepared with gorgonzola cheese, which I think is
bummer.
just super gross. So I just didn't. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to save some carbs right there by just not eating that at all. That's fine. I'll have a little extra stuffing. And then we went to my family's Thanksgiving, and turkey had been prepared by my sister. She brined it, and she stuffed butter and herbs underneath the skin. And we roasted it, and we had our usual ginger ale glazed carrots, and I made garlic rosemary green beans, and there was cornbread stuffing. My dad made this Pennsylvania Dutch thing called potato stuffing.
Is it stuffing with potatoes?
It's more like potatoes with stuffing. It's just like a big casserole of potatoes with a bunch of like chopped up mirepoix, and also I think like you soak bread in milk and mix that in too. Basically, it rendered regular mashed potatoes completely obsolete.
Okay.
I felt no need to eat mashed potatoes when I had those to eat.
Oh man, so you passed up 2 mashed potatoes.
Yeah, but I had a shitload of potato stuffing. So everything was right with the world. And my mom made mini pecan pies, and we had pumpkin pie, and I drank a ton of beer. Like,
nice.
A lot of beer. And then it was...
I drank a lot of...
What?
Gin?
You don't even remember what you drank.
Yeah, it was gin. I drink a lot of gin. And red wine.
Solid. And then it was Black Friday, and I had to go all capitalist society on everyone.
Yeah, I bought a lot of stuff.
Actually,
a lot.
I kept it generally under control, but I also had to pick up gifts for other people, and yeah,
plenty
of money going out the door around Black Friday times.
Christmas,
yeah, man.
Fuck that.
But I'm gonna, you give and you get, and you feel good that you made people happy, and then you get gifts and you're happy, and theoretically that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a Christmas tree.
You should just get an artificial tree.
Those are actually really expensive. Not really expensive, but it's like $150.
But then, yeah, but how much do you spend on a Christmas tree?
Less than that?
Yeah, but then like how much do you spend on a Christmas tree like every year?
Well, I don't have. That's the other problem is I don't necessarily have place to put the artificial one right now.
Oh, like you have no storage.
Yeah, so it's like almost better to just spend the, because we can't really get a huge Christmas tree anyways. Like $30 or whatever.
Are you talking about like for your apartment?
Oh. And then, like, just throw that shit out and then do it again next year, I guess.
Like, I don't know. I'm pretty anti decorate your house for Christmas. So
You know, you're.
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm not opposed to it like you are.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily spend the time and the money on it, but my roommate insists.
Do you have other people who would like
Yes,
these things?
she insists, and she's fronting us the capital for it. So I can't really
all right, then.
like get too like fucking pissed
Can't
off
say no,
about it
then. Yeah.
But yeah, that's not video
Yeah.
games.
Oh,
Wait, have you have you
Shit.
prepared a sandwich with any of your leftovers yet?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Word.
I definitely took a big old hoagie roll and I toasted that bad boy, and then I put stuffing on it. And I put turkey on it. I put cranberry sauce on it. And I put gravy on it, and I ate it. It's the best
Did
sandwich
you have
in
cranberry
the world.
sauce at your thing?
Hell yeah. Homemade
My
cranberry
mom-
sauce.
My
Doesn't
mom
get
made
any
cranberry sauce that I think my sister told her she gave her the recipe for. Holy shit, that stuff was good. It's like
better. Oh yeah.
there were apples in it. It was just a big bowl of fruit salad with cranberry sauce that you reduced on the stove, and it was amazing. And I don't even like cranberry sauce.
Pretty
normally.
okay. I love cranberry.
So what I did with my leftovers is I took my leftovers cornbread stuffing, and then I put it in a waffle iron.
Okay.
And then
Yep.
a stuffing waffle came out.
That sounds great.
It was great. It was like super crispy stuffing. And then I put
sounds
some
wonderful.
turkey and some gravy, and then I ate it. I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Video games.
Whoa.
Okay, Ryan. I see
Yes,
that you
Nick?
played 2 games this week. So
I did. I was a
don't
good boy.
keep us waiting any longer. We simply must know, what games did you play this week?
I was a good boy. Do you want to hear about the first one or the second one?
Tell me what platforms they're for, because I liked it when we played that game.
That was a fun game. I played a PS4 game, and I played a game on the personal computer. Well, my personal computer.
Ooh.
It's not anybody else's. It's mine.
PS4, huh?
Yeah. PS4. Ready? Okay. Break. Do you remember Transformers?
Like the Shia LaBeouf movie?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one. They made a game. It's just you play as Shia LaBeouf. It's an open world robot.
Actually, there were several video games based on that particular iteration.
There were,
of
weren't there?
Transformers, the Michael Bay iteration.
But I'm assuming you only played as Transformers,
I think so.
because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, it's mostly like
Um,
action scenes where you'd like shoot missiles at other Transformers while you're in Egypt. There wasn't any of
okay.
like
Yeah, sick.
you didn't have like BioWare style Shia LaBeouf talking to his girlfriend about how this whole Transformers thing seems kind of fucked up, though.
That would have been kind of funny. I would have played that game.
Yeah, probably me too.
So I played that new one, the Transformers Devastation. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's made by Platinum, who makes good action
do.
games. This one feels like, I don't know, they didn't try necessarily as hard.
how so? What areas of it are lacking?
I feel like there's a little bit of like enemy variety and the lack of it. There's like a few enemy types. I mean, realistically, you're fighting Transformers, and I guess there's only so different that each Transformer is. The boss fights are pretty okay. I've done a few of those. They're pretty fun.
Oh, that's cool.
It's fun to tool on Megatron. But yeah, no, it's super simple. It's like it looks slick as hell because it like looks like one of them
Yeah.
80s cartoon Transformers.
Yeah, they really, from what I've seen, they
episodes.
really nailed that aesthetic.
Yeah, the aesthetic of that game is fucking like cha-ching on point. Dollar signs, everything about it is good. But yeah, it's just a fun. It's pretty simple. It's wicked simple. It's like there's only a few different combos. It's not like Bayonetta, fucking a billion different kinds of inputs, and you can get different stuff. And it's like, do you want to push square or triangle? Push them in any order you like, and then push R1. It's okay.
And what is that for?
That's just that.
Oh,
what?
like for general like combo making?
Just
Yeah.
for fighting. Yeah, the combos are wicked simple, which I guess people look for in an
Are they
action game.
too
I don't actually
simple?
know. I think so.
Because I want to compare this game to every other Platinum Games 3D beat 'em up. The greatest example of which is Bayonetta, in my opinion.
Right.
Which
Right.
had a lot of different. I mean, it was just punch and kick, but there were so many different combinations of like punch, punch, kick, punch, hold, or like don't press anything for a second and then press kick. That it was like insane to remember. I was using like the same like 3 or 4 combos all the time.
Yeah, so instead of having that level of complexity, they just took all of that out, and you're left with like maybe 6 different combo strings that the game is like, yeah, this is a combo. You pretty much end every combo by pushing R1 to turn into a car and using some kind of car-related finishing move, which is fucking hilarious to
great.
watch. It's really dumb. It's not like an intelligent game. It's not like wicked, like, oh, this is like really nuanced and yeah, the action genres change forever. No, it's fucking, you're a Transformer and you push square and triangle to punch and kick stuff and shoot guns and fucking then you turn into a car and do donuts until somebody dies. That's that game. Which is really fun. It's nice to just fucking play some bullshit for a little while. So yeah, no, that it's fun. And I got it for $25, which is like exactly how much money.
That's a
just
good
about on that
price
game.
for that game.
Yep, I got it. One of them Amazon Lightning deals.
I saw that one happened, and it's
Yeah.
already on my Christmas list, so I didn't mess with it. Did you ever play? Speaking of licensed Transformers games, did you ever play The Legend of Korra, that downloadable title? That's based on the
No.
Avatar: The Last Airbender second series spin-off,
No.
whatever you want to call it.
As much as I liked those shows, I did not play that
The
game.
game is totally fine.
I heard that game was bad.
That's a complete. So like,
I heard it was
no.
bad.
If we're gonna talk about licensed action games, Afro Samurai 2 is bad. It's so bad that it got pulled from.
Canceled?
It was already released. You can't cancel a released
really?
game. It got pulled from storefronts, and people got refunds for it automatically.
That's great.
That's a bad
That's
game.
fantastic.
Legend of Korra was
Yeah.
not a bad game. It came out right before Bayonetta 2 did, so like last spring or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed a little bit like Bayonetta light, but it was cool because the main character being the Avatar, can bend all 4 elements, or I don't even know what they call. I'm not as familiar with the lore as some are.
Yeah, it's elements.
But
yeah.
so you had 4 different fighting styles, and so like
Okay. That makes
Earth
sense.
was really like slow and deliberate, and you had to like a lot of the moves could be charged up, and fire was just about like dashing around and like it was cool. Like, it was good. It wasn't fully realized, and part of it makes you go like, yeah, because it was a fucking licensed game. It's like a downloadable, like a $15 downloadable licensed game. It was made by Platinum Games. Yeah. It was definitely okay, but this Transformers Devastation, it seems like there's more going on. There's
probably more going on than that. Yeah. I like that game. I don't know if I'll beat it. It's like, it's definitely something that I just turn on, and it's very linear, and you just kind of like walk in and you're like, all right, what am I going to punch this time? And you punch it, and then you're like, okay, cool, I'm done. And then you turn it off. And that's it. But it's pretty good.
That's cool.
If you're looking for mindless fun and you like Transformers even passively,
I never watched the 80s cartoon,
get this enjoyment.
I guess I'm down with Transformers. I watch a lot of Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
I really hope that they make Beast Wars DLC, which obviously they won't.
I feel like nobody likes Beast Wars except for kids who were kids in like 1996.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Which is us. So I guess we just have to wait for someone who is our age to make that game.
All right, I'll wait a little. I'll bide my time.
I fucking Beast Wars.
So this seems like a good time to talk about one of the news stories. It's actually very relevant.
Whoa!
It's super relevant
here.
Apparently.
All right,
stories going around that I'm not going to say they're 100% confirmed here, but there's rumors that Platinum Games is working on a new game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And they're making another licensed ass action game, but with Ninja Turtles instead of Transformers or any that seems like the next logical step to me.
Ninja Turtles is another licensed property that I also have zero affinity for.
Yeah, well, I like my affinity extends only so far as the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games and the arcade games and stuff were super dope.
Yeah, I've heard that. What is it? Turtles in Time.
Yeah, Turtles in Time is.
I hear people talk about Turtles in Time all the time.
That shit's A+. I was a bigger fan of the Sega Genesis game, Hyperstone Heist. Preferred that one a little bit more, but whatever. I was a Sega Genesis kid more or less. But yeah, I don't know. Apparently, there's never been a good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game since Turtles in Time. The reboot one that they got, an Xbox Live download thing, was apparently a total piece of shit. So, yeah, take more 80s cartoons and make them into cool action games, Platinum. Even though it's kind of weird that
I'll do that.
It's kind of weird
that happen.
They're Japanese, so they don't actually necessarily. I'm sure that there are people who worked on these games that are just what the fuck is this? Or what I've never seen this franchise before. But hey, so I'm assuming we're gonna get He-Man: The Masters of the Universe developed by Platinum Games next.
Here's the thing. How come they've never made a fucking where's Marvel fucking Avengers movie tie-in games? Why aren't those happening?
Avengers tie-in?
Yeah, with all of these Marvel games, I remember the early and late 2000s were all about movie tie-ins, especially the early 2000s. Where they would make a Spider-Man movie and then all right, here's the Spider-Man game.
Oh man, Spider-Man 2 for the GameCube? Good. That game is good.
I never played that game.
It's the only Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 for the GameCube. I think it came out on PS2 too, but those are the only games that were ever actually good. They're a sick combo system.
Yeah, fucking I don't know, but I feel like Marvel's in a prime spot to fucking.
You mean Disney?
Make or old Disney, I guess now, but why aren't they making superhero games that are good?
So here's what I think is the answer to your question.
Is it because they already made Marvel's Hero Alliance 2015 or whatever the fuck it's called?
Diablo with Marvel characters?
Yeah.
No, that was not what I was going to say, but I'm sure there's a lot of people at Disney who don't know anything about video games and they go why would you want another game? You got one right here. It's like your mom 15 years ago.
Oh,
it's just
sure.
Mom, I want Super Mario World. She's you got Super Mario right here. Super Mario Brothers 1. Play that game. You're no, I want the new one. It's guys, we need more Marvel superhero games. What you got You got this one. We keep re-releasing it. They're in Disney Infinity. What more do you want? You guys are such assholes. You ungrateful shits.
Oh, that's true. They are in Disney Infinity.
Yeah, and so
I never thought about
but
that.
here's the real reason that I think is because movies make a shitload of money. Because it's really easy for a bunch of dumb people to just be like, yeah, $10, here you go. I'm going to go watch your movie. And it takes 2 hours, and then you gave Disney a bunch of money. Video games are expensive as all heck to make, and the return isn't as good. For most video games.
Yep.
I mean, like, games like Call of Duty and, like, Fallout 4 and GTA 5, like, all those games, they will sell gangbusters regardless of anything, and they'll make a ton of money for their company, even though they put a lot of money into it. But most people aren't willing to take a chance, and Disney doesn't seem like the kind of company that feels like taking a chance. They'd be like, why would we do something new when this thing we're doing makes us tons of money? Let's just make more movies. Let's not make video games. That's just my opinion, though.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I don't know.
But there is some stuff. I mean, the Deadpool got a game that's it's being re-released on Xbox One and PS4. I heard that game's fine.
Oh, that's true.
It's got like really Deadpool things in it. I'm not really a superhero fan, so I'm not the person to really ask about it. But I heard it's very Deadpool-y. If that makes any sense.
Deadpool is cool, I guess.
And then he's getting a movie, or a PG-13 Deadpool movie, which, from everything I've heard, is not okay. Like, that's not Deadpool.
Cool.
But, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to stop talking about my butt now.
All right.
I'll tell you real quickly about a game that I played. I just unlocked my iPad. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. I got an iPad for Black Friday / Christmas, but we decided to open it early because I'm an entitled millennial piece of shit. But I was up late last night, drunk photoshopping, and I made a Bear vs. Man official iPad wallpaper.
Fantastic! Okay,
I need people. I will share. I share with people. I apparently set it as my lock screen, and so every time I go to unlock my iPad, I crack up.
That's great.
I'll get to that in a second. But so I mentioned last week that I was planning on buying some Steam games from that sale, and I picked up a couple of things, and I played a couple of them, and I'm going to tell you about how I feel about these games.
Okay. Yeah.
You ready? Okay.
Sure. Yep.
So Dropsy, which I swear that the subtitle of that game, like, it's Dropsy : A Hug Venture or something like that. It's about a clown who I can only assume is misunderstood, because he appears to be deranged, but he seems to be a nice guy. And he's got a puppy that he hangs out with. He has animal friends, general animal friends. And the game begins with this like horrible nightmare scene of like everyone's at the circus, and the circus like burns down, and then you're in this like nightmarish version of the home in which you live now. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this game? But it turns out that it's like, oh no, it's just like he was having a nightmare. It's like a dream sequence. So it's like, okay. But as far as I can tell, like the plot of this game is there's a circus in town, and like 5 years ago, the circus burned down, and a couple people died, including someone who worked there, and a couple people who lived in town. And I guess that some people think that Dropsy is responsible for it in some way. But so I've only sunk... Actually, I can tell you how much time I've sunk into this game. I'd say I played 2 hours. And it seems like it's actually a fairly long game. It's an adventure game. but it saves you the fluff of the, like, giant, long, branching dialogue trees. So you have, like, a game...
Okay.
It's kind of like a game like Monkey Island. You ever play any of the Monkey Island games?
I have not.
Well, so it's kind of like that style of adventure game where you get items and you go to people and you give them items, or you use items on things, and you kind of like have an area that you can roam around in and do what you do. But games like Monkey Island tend to be like, you click on someone and they have like 10 minutes of pre-recorded dialogue to spew at you, and you have to like try and like talk to them about things. It's like that just gets rid of all that shit, which is awesome. Like that's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah.
I genuinely do not need that shit. Because it's just like people communicate with word bubbles, and they'll say like, you go to someone and you click on hug, and you click on them and you try and hug them, and they get two bubbles above their head that just is a picture of Dropsy's face and a thumbs down, and they're like, you know what, Dropsy, I'm not a big fan. Don't try and hug me. I'm like, okay, that
All right.
makes okay. Read me loud and clear. Instead of it's that triggering like a dialogue thing of like, or like if I try and use an item on something that doesn't work, Dropsy will just turn towards the camera and shrug a little bit, instead of them being like, I don't think that's gonna do me any good, and like waste, like. In a lot of ways, it's a traditional adventure game. In a lot of ways, it really openly defies adventure game tropes, and I really like that about it. The game seems long. I got stuck a little bit꯫ Somewhere in the second chapter, and I had to look up a solution, and it looks like this like 5 or 6 chapters long. I mean, it loosely divided.
Okay.
And it just seems it took me 2 hours to get, like, I'm maybe on chapter 3. So it's like a 6 to 8 hour game, which is, I was expecting something with much less scope.
Yeah.
And I thought I had this game figured out, but apparently I'm totally wrong, because it's way larger than I thought. And part of it is the world is huge, and you have to just walk through it, a la those old school adventure games that it draws inspiration from.
Mm-hmm.
But I did just unlock fast travel. I took a job with this big medical company, and I showed him some clown tricks, and he's just like, okay, cool, now we're gonna go help that guy who I think is your dad get better, and here's a car. So me and my dog and my baby bird and my tiny mouse, my animal friends, we got in my car and we drove back to my house, and now I'm pretty sure I can fast travel, which should probably help the rest of the game go a little bit faster. But I don't know, I really like it, I think.
Mm-hmm. You think?
Yeah, because I like adventure games, and like I said, it cuts out a lot of the stuff I don't like, all the dialogue that kind of jams up the works, and it's kind of the most boring part sometimes. If the dialogue's done well, you want to listen to it, but if it's not,
sure.
Like if crosses a certain threshold and then it's not good anymore, and you're just like, all right, now this is just a waste of time, and this game doesn't even concern itself with that. But this game also reminds me of, and I wonder how intentional this correlation is, but do you remember a PS2 game called Tulip?
You've tried to tell me about that game, I think.
I probably have. Tulip is a game takes place in an area of Japan. You play as a young man who, you have this dream about this girl who you want to smooch underneath like the smoochin' tree, and then the smoochin' tree comes to you in a dream, and it's like, hey, to reach your smooch happiness, you have to become more confident and better at smooching by smooching as many people as possible consensually.
Right, I remember all of this stuff.
And so that's kind of in a lot of ways that's an adventure game in and of itself, because they have it's a big world where there are characters who have schedules, and there's people who live in the town, and there's people who live like underground that have different schedules, and they'll like appear, and you have to do like a little mini game or something to be able to smooch them. You have to give them a certain item. It's like go to the park around 4 o'clock, and that's when the mole lady will appear. You know, whatever. And if you sneak up on her, you can smooch her. But that game's also just full of bullshit. This is Tulip I'm talking about still. Because there's all sorts of chains and quest chains and stuff that you have to like get this item to do this, but it's like they don't tell you anything of how to do it. Like it's really just it's super trial and error. Like there's this one moment in the game where you come to a fence and it's just like, do you want to jump over the fence? And you're like, yes. And then when you jump over the fence, there's like a big drop on the other side, and you hit the ground, and you lose X number of hearts, and you just need to have a certain amount of hearts to survive the fall, and that's the only way to get over that fence. And if you didn't have enough hearts when you did it the first time, and you probably didn't, then you just game overed, and you had to go back to your last save. Because Tulip's a stupid, shitty game. I actually tried playing it. Saw, like a long time ago, I saw like Game Grumps play it, and I was so amused by it. Then I was like, oh, it's on PS3 for like $10 or $8 or whatever. They can get like the PS2 Classic version for some reason. And I played it, and like roommate and I really put our heads together on it. We're like, we're gonna play Tulip, and then I started reading about like all the dumb shit you have to do, and like all the trial and error. And I was just like, no, this is over. We're not doing this anymore. But but Dropsy draws inspiration directly from Tulip. At least that's the way I like. That's what it looks like to me, because you have to like help people, and that will allow you to hug them.
Okay,
but I don't. And sometimes you have to do that to advance the story, but sometimes it's just like I think the guide I was looking at listed it as a collectible, kind of like. It's possible to hug all or most of the characters in the game, but some of them are optional to completing the story. But still, is like just some interesting little flavor moments that adds, hugging the optional people. Like there's these two girls sitting on a stoop who are like drug addicts or something. I don't know. And one of them, you kind of see like their musings, like in their thought bubbles or the word bubbles above their heads, and like one of them is just like really depressed about. Or most people you meet in this game are sad at first, and you have to help them in some way.
Okay.
I don't know. I wound up giving her a flower, and she was just like, "Oh, thank you. Give me a hug," and I hugged her. And then like when I came by her later, she had like she was still sitting on her stoop, but she wasn't as sad. And then she had like the flower I gave her, like a little glass on the windowsill next to her. And it's like, it kind of makes me happy. I don't know. It's game's full of like little things, and it seems pretty cool. It's a cool game that I played this year.
Yeah, man.
I don't really know how it stacks up. Like, Ryan and I have been talking a lot about Game of the Year lately.
Yeah, we've been discussing some things.
And I've been thinking a lot about where the games I've played that came out this year fit. And I have like a loose idea, but there's also a lot of games I haven't played yet. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, it's not Honey Pop good.
I don't know, man. Yeah, you like Honey Pop.
That game's so amusing to me. So another game that I played, that I bought on Steam. Audio Surf 2.
Oh, shit.
Not much. This is Audio Surf.
Is it?
Yes. It's really... So the coolest thing about it is that it has SoundCloud integration. So you can pretty much play any song you want through it. If it exists somewhere on SoundCloud, even if it's just a upload by someone who doesn't actually own the song, you can just search for it and it's just there and you can play it. The gameplay is still the same.
Okay.
Audio Surf is like, you pick a song, it generates a track which it's not exactly a racing game. You're not turning around the track, like turning through curves and things like that. It runs it through for you, but like the colors of the track and the way it goes up and down and the speed at which you travel on it is all, and the pieces, I guess, that are in play on the track are all determined by the song.
Yeah.
And so depending on the mode you're playing, you want to hit the pieces and they fill like reservoirs on the track. And so the base game mode is called mono, where it's just all the pieces are the same color.
Okay.
And the idea is that there's 3 lanes with depending on the track, varying amounts of blocks in each lane. And the idea is that you want to hit the blocks, they drop into the reservoir, and you want to fill up your reservoir. And each one can hold like 8 in each lane. So you want to hit 8 in each lane, it gets to the top, that's how you get the most points. But once you like line up 3 of them in a certain amount of time, if you don't drop any in, they'll disappear, and you'll get score, but you won't get as much score as if you had filled them all up. So it's really, I mean, I made it just sound really unnecessarily complicated. It's actually really simple. It's just you use your mouse to move your car left and right, and you hit these blocks and try and line up all the pieces. And I'm really bad at it. Like it has real live score tracking, and I'm bad at it. Like I can consistently everyone else gets a much better score than I do. There's lots of different game modes. There's mod support, so people making new skins for it that make it look different. And they have game modes where they add different colored blocks, so it becomes like a puzzle game. You have to get all the yellow to line up. That's probably the most interesting one, but depending on the song you play it on, it can be like really hard.
Yeah.
And so it's like the red ones are worth the most. You got to line up 3 red in a row or like just next to each other. Then there are gray ones that don't match with anything, but if they hit the bottom of the reservoir, they drop out and you get a bunch of score. And it just, it's more audio surf. It definitely looks better. The SoundCloud integration is sweet.
Yeah.
That game's fine. I have a certain fondness for audio surf because, as I said before, it was the reason I downloaded Steam.
Oh, that's right.
Because I was like, oh, audio surf, that game looks alright. It's generated with my music. That sounds cool. I was like, I have to download a program to play this? What? Oh, alright. Alright, I guess I'll just download this and that'll be fine. I won't use it that much, but now look at me.
Yeah, I won't use it that much.
They also added a game mode called, I can't remember what it's called. Exactly. Like Audio Runner or something like that, where it's just you have there's a person on the track and you're like looking at it sideways and they're just hauling ass. They're just running.
Mm-hmm.
And so there'll be blocks that you either need to jump over or slide under. And it's just like it's made you play with up to 4 people with just 2-button input, and like the blocks and how they appear and for how long is determined by the music you're playing. That seems like that's just like kind of simple, little fun. It's like I kind of feel like listening to a song right now. I'm just gonna also press 2 buttons while I do it. No real like high score or anything to be had, but yeah. But like I said, it's got full workshop support, so people have been making skins for it, and I'm sure there have been variations of game modes that people have made, and I'm hoping that the developer is gonna just keep adding stuff to that game because it's super expandable. It's like a shell for more stuff. So we'll see. I don't have any plans, especially me like trying to play more stuff before I figure out how I felt about this year. I'm probably not going to play a lot more Audio Surf 2, so I wanted to mention it now. But
sure, yeah.
It seems it's not broken. Ain't nothing wrong with it. How about that?
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Official review. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Let's take a break. I had an idea for something that I think would make a good sponsor for the show, but I can't remember what it is now. So.
Oh well, just sure. Yep.
I'll get back to you on that one. Break.
Okay.
guys, we're back and we're talking about video games.
Shit, we talk about video games on this
Sometimes.
thing? Fuck.
We're not talking about sandwiches. Right,
That's
you
true.
played a different game that I told you to play, and I think I told everyone to play this game.
Yep. So, during this recent Steam sale, a game called Spacechem was 99 cents, and that's a great price for Spacechem. Although I would pay more for that game.
Game is definitely worth more than 99 cents, but like, why would you?
I think it's old.
It is a little bit old. I don't know why you'd want to pay more than that.
Yeah.
There's also that game could run on a toaster.
I think so. I think that's true. I think it actually is on a toaster. It runs a toaster.
They ship out
VM.
physical versions of it that just come on toasters that you plug via HDMI into your TV.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Anywho, Spacechem is really neato. It reminds me a lot of Human Resource Machine, which we've talked about.
And the Human Resource Machine,
it's
it's like programming based, right?
Yeah, this makes me feel similar things in my heart.
Yeah,
when I play Spacechem. So for people who don't know, you're given like 2 inputs usually, and then in some fashion you need to attach them to each other, like with chemical bonds.
The inputs are
put them in an
inputs
output
are molecule
box.
So it's like it'll be like here's a hydrogen and here's
compounds.
an oxygen, and you need to make H2O.
Right, and then you need to make a track where there's a little bubble that can either pick up molecules or drop molecules or bond them together. And so depending on how you design the track, you either do really well or you're like, why isn't this thing picking this up when I want it to?
But all the tracks, you sometimes make multiple tracks. Or you actually always have to make multiple tracks. And they run at the same speed. That's where the rub really comes in, because you need to figure out how to like stop that track long enough that they reach, like, hey, you wait there for one, and then you'll get to that place at the same time, and then you have them go over the bonding section at the same time. Dude, that game is. Oh,
so I just got to the part, like the 4th planet, where they start introducing like different reactors, and you have to like connect the reactors and then like wait in one reactor to pick up a thing that was bonded in a previous reactor. That it's getting nuts. Like, I feel like they just jumped the difficulty of Spacechem up by like 100 notches. That first like reactor section, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? But I think I've got it now. It's very challenging in a way that I like. So like I spent probably like an hour or so on just like one level.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It gets really challenging, and I'm just like, oh man, I can't even believe like how hard this is gonna get, because like I blew through like the first 3 levels in like half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like I blew through them because they're wicked easy, and they're like, okay, this is how you do this, and this is how you do this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Sinking, got it. Bonds, got it. Okay, cool. And then they're like, all right, here's reactors and pipes, and here you go. And I'm like, fuck. And then like they wanted me to like triple bond like 2 sides of this one compound. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be really hard.
Yeah, that game just ramps up the difficulty so quickly. It's like the most complex.
Yeah, man.
I think I actually, during our first listener special or reader Q&A, we were posed the question, what's the hardest game you've ever played? I'm pretty sure I said Spacechem.
I think you did.
Well, that might not be the hardest. It is damn hard.
It's very difficult. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to playing a little bit more of that game. I think it's very neato. Yeah, Spacechem. You should get Spacechem. It's not on sale right now. You should wait.
Maybe it goes on sale for $1. I mean, come on.
I think it was $1 like the last Steam sale, like the summer one, and I didn't buy it, even though you told me to.
So that guy made a 3D version of that, basically a 3D Spacechem.
That sounds horrible.
I think it's a little bit less complex. It's called Infinifactory. You're building like machine parts, or you're building machines instead of like chemicals or then molecules. But I've heard it's not. It doesn't play quite the same way. I mean, calling it 3D Spacechem is obviously being super reductive. But I've heard because of the way that it works with being in 3D, it's like a little bit easier just to brute force it. Like, to not really know the right, or like the most, have it do it with finesse. Just, you kind of just fudge it, and the thing comes out, and it's like super inefficient, but it works and you accomplish the goal. That came out this year. It's still pretty new. I think
June 30th, 2015. I put it on my
I want to say it.
I think I like these games, the ones that are like puzzle is on a track and you need to arrange the track such that you can complete the goal of the puzzle. I don't know what genre that is, but I think I like it.
Would you say that Human Resource Machine falls under that same category?
There isn't a track because you're essentially making the track.
Yeah.
Instead of the thing moves by itself, and you have to figure out how to move the pieces to make it do what you want. Instead, Human Resource Machine is more you're creating the track and then hoping for the best. Because literally that game is like, okay, here's a string of numbers, and then also here is the thing that we want you to do with the numbers. Now go. And they give you like a series of commands that change how the guy interacts with the numbers from the inbox. It's like I said, it makes me feel similar things, but it's definitely not that similar.
Can you think of another game that is a puzzle game on a track?
Man, I don't even know. Because I'm like just discovering these games. Let me go. I want to go to the store page of Spacechem and then see what Steam says is similar.
It's a good idea, but I don't know if you're going to get the answers that you desire in that way.
Probably not. Infinifactory. Oh yeah, Braid is like this game.
Oh, totally.
Oh, I should. Oh, this game looks like something. TIS-100.
That is a title I've seen in a related search.
Made by the same guy. Spacechem and Infinifactory guy.
That sounds very familiar.
Also came out this year. Holy shit, this guy makes a lot of games.
I can only assume that it's a team.
Yeah. Zachtronics.
Tessellated Intelligent System. That looks... Did
we talk about Ironclad Tactics?
No. Should we have?
Okay. No. This is another game made by this guy, but it's actually a game.
Did that come out this year?
No, it came out 2013.
Yeah, we can't talk about it then.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Spacechem is cool.
It is cool.
I like Spacechem.
If anything, I mean, like it's cool. If anything,
yeah, it's cool. I like it. So the other thing I did this week, this is a video game. It's kind of a video game. So there's a video game on the Vita that's a visual novel called Danganronpa or Trigger Happy Havoc.
Danganronpa. That game might be more than a visual novel.
It's definitely an adventure game. Like, I played some of it. It's like a detective-y adventure game. You're like highlighting, like going to an area on the map, and then like you thumb over things that are then highlighted, and it's like, oh, this thing goes with this thing. Look, you discovered the murderer.
Yeah, well, that game is. Yes, it's that. That is partially true, but it's also like the main. I'm pretty sure the main gameplay in that is you have this trial And
Yes.
if you're able to successfully find the killer, then
You don't
and
die.
if you don't successfully find the killer, then everybody dies because some black
so
and
it's
white
either
teddy
or.
bear wants to kill teenagers or something because it's a game from Japan. So, yep.
Yeah, it's a game about killing teenagers and killing your friends, which is my favorite subcategory of
If you if you like
Japanese
Battle
video
Royale,
game.
you'll love
I
Danganronpa.
do. Yeah, that's a good. That's
I just
a good
remember one
comparison.
time. What was it? We were in your basement, and it was me and Yuki and Joe, and I had gone to the bathroom, and I came back, and I heard Yuki describe to you, it's like Phoenix Wright, but with like killing teenagers or something like that. And I was like, oh, we talking about
Yeah.
Danganronpa right now? Like I immediately Danganronpa. I was like, I immediately knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
We like to be
anyway. So
continue.
we do. So this game, they came out with an anime for this game, and I'm like, well, this game's kind of like a visual novel. I should just watch this anime instead of playing this game. So I did, and now I wish I played the game. Man, because it's I was doing some reading after I finished it, and apparently the anime is incredibly reductive to the story.
I'm sure.
And I'm like,
So,
I
a lot
kind
of
of like the
story
story.
in
I
the
wish it's like 80% story. But yeah, I thought the twists and turns were cool. So I might still play that game,
Yeah, it's like
even though I know what happens.
it's also like the interaction between
I could play the
the
second
interaction
game
between
too,
the third one
if
is
I
coming
wanted
out very soon.
to. It is, yeah. I don't know if it's coming out in America. Oh wait, I think it is.
Yeah, I think that just got announced this week, basically.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hey, so we're being topical.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah, no, that game is cool. That game is cool.
You mean the anime is cool? Did you watch it
Yeah,
on?
same thing. That story, I watched it on Hulu.
Oh, you should drop Hulu, drop that chump, get Crunchyroll. They got simulcast
All the-
1 hour after broadcast in Japan.
I don't play that game except for One Piece. For like every other anime, I like to wait until the season is finished. Because I like to binge watch.
That's good.
Except for One Piece, where so I watched a bunch of One Piece yesterday, and I haven't watched One Piece for 8 goddamn months, and they're still in the same arc that they were when I last left One Piece off, and they haven't even done anything meaningful. So I'm pretty upset. I watched 20 episodes. Is that right?
With no meaningful
Yeah, that's right.
progression.
There was a little bit, some stuff happened, but it's basically been this giant cock tease of Luffy's gonna fight fucking what's his name, Doflamingo. Luffy's gonna fight him. Blah blah, and then fucking doesn't happen. Still waiting for it to happen. Still waiting for him to throw the first punch, and he just hasn't done it yet. He's been.
Has he not
getting
fought him at
distracted.
all yet?
No, they haven't fought yet. It's been
All right, so they haven't even got the part where Luffy loses and then becomes stronger and then beats him again later?
No, I think they're doing that through another character.
Oh, okay.
Luffy just keeps getting distracted by random people trying to get to him, while the other guy who's currently fighting him is I'm clearly not good enough for this, but I'm gonna try anyway because I'm wicked sad about it because he killed my friend or whatever. I don't know.
Something like that.
Anime spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know. Anime. So you've been watching some anime-ass anime, basically.
I've been watching some anime-ass anime this week. Yeah. I watched some One Punch Man. I like One Punch Man.
I mean to watch One Punch
Pretty
Man
good.
because it's become such a cultural thing that I feel like...
It has. It's not the first season isn't over yet, so I watched 3 episodes and I'm like, okay, this is good. And then
Although I did manage to not watch Attack on Titan, even though that's a whole thing. I just didn't.
Oh man, I like
even...
Attack on Titan. That shit's pretty.
It seems
good.
too serious.
You should. It's not.
It's about like the fate of humanity. One Punch Man is about a guy who just jerked off so hard. He just jerked off so many times that he's just strong.
No, it's like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and 10 kilometers running every day. That's how you One Punch Man.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's like his thing. He says that.
10 kilometers.
Like, that doesn't seem like enough.
Actually, 10 kilometers isn't a lot, but every day.
Isn't that like 5 miles?
It's 6.2 miles.
Like, that doesn't seem like. I feel like people run way more than that every day. Like people who are like average
on days
runners.
that I run 5 kilometers. I do that like 2 or 3 times a week. I feel like if I was just like, yeah, fucking let's One Punch Man this bitch, and I just started doing 10. I honestly I'd have to do it in 2 separate sessions though, because that's just really hard. Like running 2 5Ks, I would just
10 kilometers running.
That's kind of a lot. Just like how I wouldn't be able to just be like, all right, 100 push-ups and just do 1, 2, 3, 54, 56. Like I would have to be like, all right, 20. And then, like, roll over for a second and be like, all right, hold on. 10 more, and then, like, eventually get there. But, like, shit, that's a lot. Okay, but I want to be One Punch Man.
Yeah.
All right. Noted.
I want to be One Punch Man. That sounds dope.
Yeah. Just do it.
10 kilometers running.
Yeah, that it actually takes a while to be able to run. I remember a long time ago I did this. I started this couch to 5K app thing. And
I've heard of that.
That's not, they need to rename it, because if you really all you do is
Are you not running 5Ks?
No, what I'm saying is, well, I can routinely run like 5 kilometers without really taking too much of a break. That's not the hard part. But it took me forever to get there. That's the thing. So the thing is, if you're really just on the couch, all you do is couch, you're really going from couch to 5K, it's not gradual enough. Like if you don't have you don't do any cardio at all, and then you're like, I want to run a 5K, it'll take me 11 weeks with this program. It's way harder than that. If you're like, I usually do like light cardio some days, but I want to really hone in on the ability to run for 3 miles 3.1 miles without stopping. It's like, it's like those fucking P90X Insanity videos where you see the before picture and you're like, that guy looks fine. And he's like, he's not even fat. But it's like if I tried to do P90X, I would just die. I'm just saying. So yeah, I mean that took at least 2 years of doing like semi-regular cardio. So it's not gonna
fuck, man.
I mean, I wasn't really devoted. Like if I could have tried harder, but I have like a family and an addiction to video games and a job and a bunch of other stuff.
An addiction to video games.
Yeah, I mentioned I'm addicted to video games. That like.
An addiction to
I do definitely take some time. I make sure to set aside time for physical fitness, but like if I didn't give a shit about video games or podcasting or my family, like
I would be a One Punch
definitely.
Man. I'd be One
like
Punch
if I was
Man
just
tomorrow.
if I didn't care about video games, I would probably have a lot of fun just being like, I'm just going to be obsessed with physical fitness.
I'm just going to be obsessed with my abs.
That's really hard to be obsessed with.
If I had abs, I'd probably be obsessed with them, but I don't. So
yeah, no, it's 6-pack abs are like a lifestyle choice.
That's
ridiculous. Physical fitness, the Physical Fitness Cast. Hello. I mentioned before. Are you done talking about anime?
Yeah, I'm all set. Yeah.
I mentioned before that I got an iPad, and so immediately I was like, time to play every game. And I spent like $15 on apps, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's quite a few apps.
That's like a lot of apps. Like for money to app ratio, that's like usually like 15.
That's like they were. I'd say they were generally about $2 each. Some were $3, some were $1. I got a couple. There's free ones, obviously. I downloaded Hearthstone again. So I've been out of Hearthstone for so long. And I was like, well, Hearthstone's on iPad. I heard that version's really good. I guess I'll try and get back into Hearthstone. I played one match and I was just like, no, I don't think I will get into Hearthstone.
I think I've gotten to the point where like Hearthstone is now too hard for me. Like the meta, I can't keep up with the meta anymore.
Like it gave me some packs.
It sucks because I really like Hearthstone.
They gave me some packs.
I really like Hearthstone.
Gnomes versus goblins or whatever. And I opened it and everything was like mechs and stuff, and I was like, oh no, you know what? No. Shit. And then I was just like, maybe that one player stuff was kind of not really that unpleasant. Although my main problem I've brought up on this podcast before that you can't just play one player in that game. Like you can't. There's no way to really get money playing one player.
Yep, it's not like Heroes of the Storm where you can just kind of like do bot matches and
if you really
money.
But even in that game, like all that stuff is optional. It's like like Joe, he's never put $1 into that game, and he still has a lot of fun. I caught him playing that game by himself the other day.
I caught him,
and I just finished some matches. And then I was like, I saw he was online. I was like, shit, I'm eating dinner. Joe, don't you go anywhere. It's like, oh, I'm going to go play Fallout 4. And I was like, Joe! Joe! That's fine. I really like that game. I think you should play it. I think you'd really like it. But, but like, ultimately, it's optional. Like, you get 5 to 7 heroes a week. And you can have a fun time playing that game with those 5 to 7 heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, Hearthstone, like, you get all your cards, and then you're like, I grow bored of these cards, but you want new cards. And you can't get them unless you play, like, a lot of online matches against people who have, like, more variety or better cards than you. And then, so it's like, okay, so, like, one player, I was like, oh, well, Black Rock Mountain, I never got that, or the New Adventures League thing. They put $25 for that shit.
Totally. Those things are way too much.
I did the Naxxramas one because it came out when I was like super into Hearthstone. But now it's just like, all right, so I'm gonna be able to get this one player thing, and then what? Like I get a bunch of cards, including a legendary that everyone already has because they paid $25 for it, basically. Mm-hmm. Fuck that. So, but, okay, online card games, right?
Online card games.
I forgot that this game came out. When I heard about it, I was so excited. Also, quick note, Paint It Back, the game I talked about last week, super dope on iPad. Like, it fits more on the screen. Okay. It works perfectly. I even got a compactive stylus so I could, like, draw and do it. It's, like, it's wonderful. 10 out of 10. That game is even better this way. Pokemon trading card game has an iPad app.
Oh shit, they do.
And it's good. Like I actually, I have extreme fondness for Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color.
You do. Yep.
But also,
it's your favorite game.
It is. I like to say it's my favorite game, which because you have to just pick one at a certain point. But I don't know if that's actually how true that actually is. But of all I have super fond memories of that game. But then again, I also have super fond memories of Maple Story. Maple Story is having a second Cataclysm. Yeah, because they already did something called Big Bang. That was basically Maple Story Cataclysm. And now they're doing Maple Story Reboot. That, like, I'm pretty sure they're trying to remove all the, or it's more of the pay-to-win stuff. So, like, reducing EXP pools, like, removing some of the grind and things like that, and adding new characters, letting you change realms. The game's like 10 years old. I have
That game's fucking old as hell.
extreme fondness for that game. Okay, so
You love
I want to love it. It's such bullshit. But it makes I have feelings for it. It's like an abusive girlfriend or something. That's just like, I really like it, but I shouldn't. But Pokemon trading card game. Love the Game Boy Color game. I was obsessed with it. Played it for so many hours. But I also think that Pokemon trading card game is a kind of good trading card game, regardless of the characters on the.
That was a good game.
Regardless of the characters on the cards, like, you know, there's some problems with that game in terms of like trying, like, if your opponent gets like a super powerful Pokemon with like 4 energy cards on it, it's really hard to not get steamrolled. But there's ways around it, and like you can easily get like 2 of your Pokemon knocked out and just keep chugging on. Because you know, you have to knock out 6 of them to win. But it's like Magic, like Hearthstone. I played a bunch of different collectible or trading card games throughout the years. So like I played through, you know, I had like a Yu-Gi-Oh phase. Ultimately, that game is kind of broken by the nature of trap cards and Magic cards, and like that. So in this, it's the opposite problem with Pokemon.
It has the opposite problem?
Because the problem with Pokemon is like you can get steamrolled pretty easily by like a Gyarados with 4 energy cards on it, and in Yu-Gi-Oh it's just like, oh, I just spent like all these resources getting this super powerful monster on the field, and then I attack and my opponent used Mirror Force and now it's dead. And then you're like, oh, but now I have reborn the monster or whatever, and now it's just back. And a game of Yu-Gi-Oh is just so up and down. Like, so many crazy things happen in a single match of Yu-Gi-Oh that it's like it's all about like, do I have this right card at this time? It's just like it's super insane. Hearthstone is like cool, but matches are. I mean, I like that the matches don't take very long, but that's another game where it's just like it really depends on the cards that you get.
I mean, all card games are like that.
Yeah, well, in some, like, you know, some more than others, for sure. But I think that game in particular relies heavily on that. Tried Magic the Gathering. I don't have a problem with it. It's just too complicated.
I've completely like lost any interest in trying to figure that game out. It's like too impenetrable at this point.
Yeah, it really is. I tried playing like Magic the Gathering 2015 or 2014 or something. And basically it's just there's too much. Like you were saying, it's like you play a monster and it's like this monster has flying and this, and it's like I had to look up all these glossary terms to figure out what the heck is going on. Pokemon is much more simple, and they give you a bunch of cards to start out with. I don't really know how you get more necessarily, but you can build decks, and there's so many Pokemon cards because there's so many Pokemon, but they have different like sets of cards, like the kind of like the simple, like the newest set, and then there's like the extended set, and then just like the anything goes, you can use any cards. And when you play online, you basically pick which category you want to play in. So if you want to play with like the smaller pool of cards, that's more like I guess geared towards tournaments and things. Like,
okay.
I don't even know exactly how they describe it, but like the simple set that's got like a lot of like the super strong bullshit cards removed, and a lot of that like EX burst stuff that I don't actually know anything about because it's way more recent than I've been playing playing Pokemon trading card game. And that's so you just make a deck with those cards, and you only go up against people who have those cards. And there's a whole one-player mode where you can they give you like different pre-made decks, and you just kind of play against computers, and just I like playing that game. So I like, I don't know, Pokemon trading card game is fun.
You like that game.
And it looks like the game itself looks really good, and you can you hold your finger on a card, and it enlarges it, and it's super clear, like everything's high resolution. Like it's just a really well put together game. And then you get to like customize your avatar, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's all right. It's good.
Okay.
I don't know how. That's kind of the game I played a bunch of, but I don't know how much more I'm going to sink into it. But I think it's kind of fun. So a couple of times the past couple of days, I just kind of I'm kind of bored. I'll just play around with Pokemon cards. But I also played a little bit of Kingdom Rush Frontiers. Remember Kingdom Rush?
I like Kingdom Rush.
Kingdom Rush Frontier came out 2 years ago, and then there's also Kingdom Rush Origins. And I basically have been I've avoided playing them until I got an iPad, because A, I didn't have the room for it on my phone, and B, they just seem to be better suited to be played on a larger screen. So far, I found that that's true. I've also found that those games are a little bit bullshit, because the way,
Kingdom Rush?
just like the structure of like, if you do a level perfectly, you get 3 stars, and then you spend those stars on upgrading your towers permanently. It's like, if you don't do well at first, then you're going to just suck more and more as the game goes on, because you're not getting the stars to upgrade your towers and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
no,
that's
I kind
a
of
concern
agree.
that I have, even though I've been playing on the lowest difficulty, because ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, that game is I guess there's like a best way, like build this tower here and like always do it this way for this particular stage. But ultimately, I just want to just like build stuff in a generally okay formation and not have to worry about like, oh, I put the mage tower in the wrong place, so I didn't kill this one particular armored creep that came out here and I lost a star. So I've just been playing at the lowest difficulty, and I've been having a lot of fun. So fuck the haters.
Nice. Okay.
I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, fuck them.
And that's pretty much that's the most extent. I've got a lot of other games on here. That's the biggest extent of the games that I've been playing. I also checked in with this game called One Button Travel that seems to be kind of like, I played on my iPad and I realized the kind of game it was. I moved it to my phone. It seems to be a game not dissimilar to Lifeline. Like the game exists in a universe where it's an actual app, and does that, like, supposedly it's real, and it's to send you notifications and you're talking to someone, but it seems that it was not originally written. It's not written by native English speakers, which is something I can pick up on really easily, apparently. And also, I don't know how good it is. So it's basically like, you had to press this button when you start the game, and the guy's like, oh, hey, don't press that button. And you're like, but I already pressed the button. He's like, oh, damn.
But I already pressed the button.
And it's basically, the premise of it is, oh, yeah, you initiated that button for the One Button Travel Agency, where they're going to cryogenically freeze you and send you to the future where time travel exists, and they'll keep you there for a week, and that'll be your vacation, they'll send you back. It's like, but they did that to me, and they didn't wait till time travel exists. They just unfroze us all in the future.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, and it does,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. It's off to an okay start.
Okay.
I haven't fully seen the the extent of where this is going or what this game winds up being. I think you have to like figure out. You have to like kind of gather clues from talking to this guy, and maybe you could talk to other people too. I haven't really played that much, and then like ultimately you have to find the code that you can send the company to cancel your trip. You should have gotten. It's like you should have gotten a cancellation code in an email, and you're like, I didn't get an email because that's not something that you can get in that game. And so you eventually have to, I guess, get the cancellation code and cancel your trip before you're sent into the future to die. I don't know. It seems kind of interesting. It's at the very least, it's a cool idea. But I'm gonna play that a little bit, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. News.
Oh, here we go.
Oh man, you wouldn't believe about this news, bro.
I might.
So, remember Dead or Alive?
The volleyball.
Well, Dead or Alive's the fighting game.
Oh,
remember Dead or Alive Extreme? The simulation game where you took the girls from Dead or Alive and you dressed them up in bikinis and made them play volleyball or something? I don't actually know
I guess that's the one that
I don't even know what the gameplay in that game is. I've never played it, so
nobody's sure.
Namco, I think, is the company that makes those games.
Namco Bandai, yeah, I think so.
And basically, they said that. I'm sorry, it's Koei Tecmo, your favorite company. They make Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, wait, do you mean your favorite?
Everyone's favorite company.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Probably there's been an update on this story.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're working on Dead or Alive Extreme 3, and they're planning on releasing it in Japan, Asia, and I guess. Oh. So someone basically asked, like, "Hey, is this going?" They asked like an official representative from Koei Tecmo on their Facebook page, "Is this game going to come to America?" And the person basically said no.
Yep. Okay, good.
The game industry. It sounds like so. He says the post, which has been since deleted, says, "Do you know many issues happening in video game industry with regard to how to treat female in video game industry? We do not want to talk those things here, but certainly we have gone through in last year or two to come to our decision. Thank you." That basically they don't. I guess to avoid like problems like with sexism, they don't want to release it in the West because supposedly they were more sensitive to that, which I would say is probably true. But they released an official statement. It says, "The comments recently made by an employee regarding Dead or Alive Extreme 3 on the official Dead or Alive Facebook page only reflect the individual's opinion and not the opinion or business strategy of Koei Tecmo Games. We remain focused on delivering the best in fighting entertainment to our fans around the world, while consciously respecting and strategizing to support the different global audiences the Dead or Alive franchise lends itself to. Dead or Alive Extreme 3 remains in development and is still planned for release in Japan and Asia only." So, in light of that, the developers responsible for my potential 2015 Game of the Year, Honey Pop, a sexually explicit romance simulator / match 3 game, has offered to pay Tecmo Koei $1 million for the rights to publish Dead or Alive Extreme 3 in the West.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yes, I didn't think they had that much money.
Yeah. I don't know. I never hear anybody talking about.
He says, "Let me take the heat." No, because they haven't really been that popular in America. Like, there's definitely people who hang out on the internet that are like, yeah, like, I have no shame. I'm gonna play this game. I like looking at boobs, but like, they're just not as popular. Like, it's a society thing. Like, they're not as popular here.
Yeah.
And because I think the shame factor is a lot. Like, the people who'd be most interested in this game are people like young men who are still at the age where they live with their parents. And you can't go playing this game in your parents' house, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude.
So it's just a limited... It's just a limited market for this sort of game here. So, like... I don't know. I can see where... I get it.
Yep.
But yeah, he's trying to stress the fact that his $1 million offer is very much serious. And he says, what was the official quote I read here? It says, I saw the story Koei wasn't going to bring the game to the West and thought it an absolute crime. I'm not sure I fully understand his... I guess maybe he's just a big fan of the series.
I guess so. I don't know.
Like many others, I love the DOAX series and I wanted to see it come stateside. I'm still uncertain as to how pathetic an offer of $1 million really is. On one hand, these guys surely make millions and millions of dollars with each release, and on the other hand, if you look at, say, the Steam sales for DOA 5, maybe $1 million isn't too shabby. No statement is worth $1 million to me. People pretty much know where I stand on these issues already. It's a legitimate offer. I don't expect Koei to even acknowledge the offer, though I'm prepared to get to work if they did. But I'll add this: if my little waves add to the storm that eventually gets Koei to publish this thing themselves, mission accomplished. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of interesting.
So in other words, if they get it, everybody wins.
He makes, he's a game developer who, I guess, apparently made a lot of money making Honey Pop. And rightfully so. That game rules. Cannot stress that enough. Cracks me up.
Remains to be seen.
Love, so much fun. And he just has a game that he cares about that he's willing to go to bat for. And that's, I think that's pretty cool. Whether or not, regardless of whether or not he gets it into the West, you're not gonna see me buying Dead or Alive Extreme 3. But still, in theory, cool. Hey, remember Project M? Every news segment, I ask you, hey Ryan, remember this thing? At least once.
And I'm always
You're
like, no.
I'm like, but you have to just say yes. This isn't gonna work if you say okay. Project M is a mod for Brawl, I guess you could call it that.
Yep.
That the idea was to make Brawl more like Melee, make it more technically focused and add back like things like wave dashing that they thought was an integral part of making made Melee what it was. And just to make it more competitive. And
right.
They've been working on that, maybe not since Brawl came out, but they've been working on it for a long time. Yeah, like as soon as Brawl came out, after like a couple of months, they're just like, wow, this game has tripping. This is not Melee 2. We hate this. We're going to do something about this. And they've been working on it pretty much ever since. And they're done. Like, they released the final update and they said, we're moving on. So I guess they're pretty happy with the end result.
Yep.
I'm trying to find some quotes here, but it sounds like their official statement was pretty just... They asked for forgiveness. Again, it's been an excruciating call to make. It's been a bit easier by our satisfaction with the previous and final release. We spent 6 years polishing Project M. Rather than drag it out through another several years of dwindling development and change fatigue in the competitive circle, we're going to consider our work complete. So, It sounds like they put a lot of work into it, and they're just like, we did it. Mission accomplished. And now they're moving on.
Yeah.
So, well, you get to be seeing what they're going to do next. Hey, speaking of Namco Bandai, the people who we incorrectly identified as the publishers for Dead or Alive.
That's true. We did do that. Yep.
In 1995, they filed a patent in the United States. US 5718632A. You know what this patent was for, Ryan?
No.
Loading screen minigames.
Oh, shit. I remember those.
I don't. It's been 20 years since we had them.
Yeah, that's true.
But, as of tomorrow, that patent is expired.
Fuck,
and that means that anyone can do that now. Anyone can just put in their game, in their loading screen, anything. Like, any sort of interactive element that is a game.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
I guess people are holding a loading screen jam, a game jam, where they make tons of loading screen games to celebrate.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love 2015. It's great.
Yeah, 2015 is all right, man. The year of the return
game jams,
of the loading screen game. I'm trying to find exactly here. Actually, let me see if this will bring me to the patent website. A recording medium, a method of loading games program code, and a game machine is provided. The recording medium has a program code relating to an auxiliary game and a program code relating to a main game. The size of the auxiliary program code is small compared to the size of the main game program code. Blah, 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 blah. Unnecessary wastage of time can be prevented by first loading the smaller auxiliary game code into the game mechanics. So it seems like loading, like, as with us and all millennials, calling it a patent for loading screen games is super reductive, because that's what we do in 2015.
We are millennials. And
it's actually, it looks like the patent is specifically for a smaller game that is loaded into memory while before the main game is loaded into memory, which should be an interactive element of some kind. I
just tweeted that.
What, that we're millennials and we're reductive?
We are. Yes.
It's literally. I realized that recently, is that seriously is like the number one. Entitlement and being reductive are like the two number one. Just things I say, like, oh yeah, Fallout 4 is Skyrim with guns. It's like,
are we millennials? Are we old enough? Are we young enough for that?
Well, we turned 10 in the new millennium. So,
a person reaching adulthood around the year 2000, I guess.
Around the year 2000. We're definitely millennials.
Yeah.
Does anything else matter? In Taiwan, they filed a rating thing, like the local rating board. They filed a form for Rocket League Xbox One, because why wouldn't that eventually end up on Xbox One? Capcom filed a new trademark for Onimusha. Remember those games, Ryan? I played as a Japanese guy and fought demons, and it was like a tanky thing, and then the third one had famous actor Jean Reno in it.
Nope.
Okay. Well, Onimusha was like a series that had several games and some spin-offs for PS2, and now we're pretty sure that Capcom is going to be bringing them back and showing us a little teaser or something at an upcoming game show. I think PSX is the next show that we can expect to maybe see this at, but I don't know. Sure, let's do it. Let's
yeah,
just
sure,
bring
right?
a bunch of Yeah,
every
let's just
game.
bring back
Make all the
every
games.
game.
Yeah, make all the games.
And a little bit of I can't remember exactly what was said about that game Indivisible that was on GoFundMe. Made by
it raised
that
like
RPG
a lot of money.
that made there's maybe the company that did developers of Skullgirls, and they wanted to make like a little 2D, not a little one, but it was like an RPG with like side scrolling, and then when you got into the battles, it played like Namco Cross Tech. No, Namco. What am I thinking of? We had this discussion last time we spoke about this. Either way, they wanted $1.5 million. I probably said on the podcast that I thought that was insane that they would get that much, but they got that much. No, they got a 20-day extension, which I guess you can do on GoFundMe. I don't know.
I've never used that website.
I had to use.
I'm
I
not
used
sure.
it once. I GoFunded something. GoFundMe is usually like. So Kickstarter is like for people who are making a tangible product that they want to distribute to people, because that's one of their requirements.
And
it's like you
GoFundMe-
have to eventually be making a product that people can receive.
Okay.
And GoFundMe does not have that requirement, and it's just different. Like apparently there's like extensions and things, so you carefully choose which one of those you want to use, knowing that Kickstarter is more famous and you'll reach more people.
Can I use GoFundMe to like order a pizza?
Yes.
I think there's a guy who did that once.
Someone once, I don't know if it's GoFundMe or Kickstarter, but someone once kickstarted a potato salad. That's great.
That's amazing.
You can do
love
anything,
the internet.
but you can also just make a Patreon that says like if with your money I will buy myself pizza. My name is Ryan.
That's great. I
And
love
people
the
can
internet.
give you money because capitalism. And they what you know what they did it, and that game actually looks okay. They put what should we call it? They put a demo out on PS4 and I think on Steam as well. So like this game is kind of yeah. I guess this game is already like well into development. And yeah, they got their money, and I think that also that money is going to provide them support from a particular publisher. So yeah, that game's happening, man. I don't know when the exact release date is, but I just wanted to say, like, I think it was pretty harsh on them when I said, like, you idiots want how much money? And they fucking did it. They proved me wrong. So I'm an asshole.
Yes.
Ryan's
That's besides
podcast
the
is
point.
over. Did you know that about
podcast
this
is over.
podcast?
Nope, but I do now. You can find us on the internet. We go there.
Yep.
We're on
Bear vs. Man, bearvsman.com.
Ready? bearvsman.com/Bear vs. Man on Facebook. Also, at Bear vs. Man on Twitter. Also, twitch.tv/Bear vs. Man. You can send us a question.
Please
and
do.
You should. To questions@bearvsman.com. We love your questions. Almost as much as Nick loves Honey Pop.
Almost. That's saying
Almost. Yeah, that is saying a lot because it's probably going to be Nick's number one game of the year.
No, it's
Spoilers.
not going to be number one. I already am pretty sure what my number one is. But that game, that game brings me joy. Okay, it makes me laugh.
It brings him joy.
My number one's probably Bloodborne.
Honey Pop. You can give us a rating on iTunes. If you give us a rating on iTunes, other people can be like, hey, this podcast is pretty alright. We should maybe download it. And then the cycle continues, and then we get to
or
make
just
more
tell
stuff for you.
someone
So,
that you know and or love.
tell your friends.
If they think that they would get a kick out of this, let them know, because that's really the only way to expand our listener base.
That's true. If one of our listeners tells one of their friends every week, there's math
have-
at the end of that.
Whoa, dude! Like each new listener tells someone new too. They Bear versus Man it forward.
Yeah, Bear versus
Dude,
Man forward.
That'd be a lot. There'd be like two after after the second episode. There'd be two, but then there'd be four, and then, dude, exponential shit.
I like it. I like exponents.
Go forth and do that, and send us questions because December's gonna be busy.
We want to do a reader mail,
so we might have to do a reader mail something and appease you guys.
So send us a question. We'll talk about it,
and
if you're lucky, we might even talk about it while we're drunk.
So you can make it about video games. It'd be cool if you did that, but you don't have to.
We'll talk about anything you want. You want to talk about sandwiches? You got it.
You haven't heard us talk about sandwiches enough? We got you.
You want to talk about the inevitable heat death of the universe?
I don't
you
know
got
how
it.
well I can really. I'll give it a shot.
Me
I'll give
either,
it a shot. No,
but
I'll try.
But we'll do it for our fans. So yeah, please rate us on iTunes so we can have a good time and send us an email. questions@bearversusman.com. That's a real email address which you can write to.
All right, guys. We will catch you next week.
Yes, with another exciting installment of the Bear vs. Man cast.
Keep it sleazy. Something.